Oh, hello, 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 hello. For today, I have 7 things listed basically in a list, in no specific order. Personally, for me, in no specific order. Sorry, my camera just disappeared. In no specific order. Will it focus? No, it's not going to focus. God damn it. In no specific order, in terms of that Arsenal should be paying closer attention to. 7 key factors that gonna play potentially, in my opinion. So don't go doing all this weird stuff, of course. That Arsenal could need to win the league potentially and win something more. And first things first, what we're gonna start off with is maintain the level. Maintain the level we have displayed this season. Yes, the football hasn't been the greatest, but the level we have maintained in terms of scoring certain goals with the defense, more specifically as well, defense, this goes on top of that, is one of the key aspects for Arsenal to achieve anything this season, in my opinion. The Sunderland game, as if it's just a one-off, technically speaking, it's a blip in this road, right? It's a bump in the road. Now, the question is, will this team learn from this? Or will this be a reason for a team to go on a downward spiral? How will they bounce back against Spurs? How that's going to affect their season coming straight after international break? For me, that is one of the key aspects, maintaining the level, because the defensive level we maintained before that Sunderland game definitely was insane to even think about. The clean sheets, barely allowing shots and everything. That is the level we should be trying to maintain every single game as the highest standard possible. Then we can go and try and score from open play, set pieces, whatever comes around, and go for it. Obviously, I'm not saying be cowards like we were against Liverpool and stuff like that, but going for it. And obviously, don't be cowards against Sunderland. But for now, since the game against Sunderland, technically speaking, is just one bump in the road, I would actually say that it's just a blip. Genuinely, it's just a blip. Obviously, as I said before in the beginning, the performances have not been great. They have not been fantastic and very exciting to watch, right? At the same time, it got us the results. For me, it was always the situation that whether the results will catch up to performances or performances will catch up to the results. And so far, that one Sunderland game definitely has put a spanner in the works. It has been a bit of a reality check in certain aspects, but how it's gonna basically influence our season going forwards, that definitely is gonna be a very, very interesting aspect of that. Definitely gonna be a very interesting key part of the season. So we got through the first point, maintaining the level. We gonna go to the second point, which obviously, as I said, it's not such in any specific order, right? But for me, the second one, which is arguably one of the most important ones to a certain extent, is injuries. We need to get figure that shit out. Injuries at Arsenal is a big issue. Yes, people say that we have the best squad depth, the deepest squad in the league, and all this stuff. But at the same time, we have 7 players injured. There were points where we had pretty much all front 3 injured, besides Trossard, Gyökeres, and obviously and Saka at a certain stage, and everything. Madueke was there. We haven't had like a proper all front three with proper backups for them. We haven't had that as of yet fully. So for me, managing injuries, player management, rotations, players getting more game time that are on the bench definitely should be something Arsenal need to look at. Because over the years, we have seen players being rushed back, players being played through massive injuries, and that is on Mikel Arteta. Players say they cannot play, yet Mikel Arteta still puts them on the pitch to play, which is definitely a big issue, a big concern. And I think if we continue like this, overall, in the absence of things long term, definitely it is going to hurt us in the long run. It's already hurting us to some extent, let's be real, but it's going to hurt us even more very soon if we keep this up. It's going to hurt us even more if we keep this up. Third one, which basically comes together with the first one, for me personally, is discipline. I think discipline overall, it's not the worst at Arsenal, but definitely there need to be improvements. We tend to give away unnecessary fouls, as we saw the foul we gave against Sunderland, which Sunderland scored from their own half. That was one of them. We get unnecessary reds like we did last year with Skelly at times and everything, Declan Rice, Trossard, all this stuff. And obviously giveaways. When we misplace passes, we pass them out of bounds, out of play, sorry, and everything for a throw-in. When Raya distributes the ball, he just hits it out and everything. I think that is another big issue. Also, the fact that we are not ready for the games. We saw that also. I know I'm using Sunderland as a big example, but you can see it against other teams just to a smaller scale to some extent. But we misplace simple passes. It's not like we misplace a 30-yard lob pass, overhit it, underhit it, and stuff like that. We actually misplace 5 feet passes, like simple passes, like feels like player is literally next to you, and we still overhit it, underhit it. We pass it straight into the opponent. We pass it out of the play and everything, and it is a big worry. Anyways, we have talked about 3 topics of the 7. We have talked about maintaining the level, injuries, discipline. Let's move to the next one, and I think this is one of the key ones. It's the improvement of the attack, which I think is a very big talking point in Arsenal and for Arsenal fans in general, because we score mostly from set pieces. Yes, we score from open play a bit more as well, but overall you can see that the attack is not clicking to the full extent. The handbrake needs to come off. The attack needs to liven up. It needs to be leveled up as well, because the left wing spot is still under huge and massive discussions. I don't assume only for Arsenal fans, but I think for the Arsenal internally as well. The attack definitely needs to be livened up. It needs to be more unpredictable, more chaotic. It has to have more pace. This attack is made to cause chaos. It has been made to cause chaos in the front lines. With Saka, with Eze, even Odegaard, with Gyökeres, with Martinelli, with Trossard. It's been built in a way, it's been made in a way that it's there to cause chaos, like in 22-23 season, or like a PSG's attack did last year with Doué, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Kangin Lee, and all these players. It's been there to cause chaos, but we genuinely play very controlled. Some people say it's controlled chaos because how Arsenal play is that they play very slowly, but they still try to cause that chaos. They still move around. It's very hard for defenders to keep their focus on player because he constantly moves. Then another player comes in, they switch around, they interchange, and 2-3 players just move around. And it's very hard to maintain focus and follow them all, obviously, right? At the same time, we are doing it very slowly, which to a certain extent doesn't require players, defensive players, to leave their positions to such a extent that it leaves too many open gaps, which is one of the biggest concerns. Because if we look back at 22-23 season, we were moving the ball so quickly, the play was happening so quickly, so openly, so with such agility and precision that defenders were all over the place half the time. And I think that is definitely missing, that chaos, which is not controlled chaos, but where it's maintained chaos, where chaos is about to basically unravel. We need something like that in the attack, in my opinion. Some Gunners are saying if we lose Rice therefore losing the set plays, Arteta will just attack like 22-23. Well, I mean, if he needs to lose Rice to start playing that begs the question, why is he even here? Because we can play this type of football even with Rice, but why is he refusing to play it without them? Moving on to the next one, which is something our team definitely doesn't do well, including our manager, I'm not gonna lie, is pressure. And what I talk about is about surviving tough times, experience in winning big games, winning trophies, and about maturing and basically being not afraid anymore, being courageous, having the courage to basically go on the front foot. Let's just put it that way, because that is one of the biggest issues for Arsenal mentally for me. I definitely believe for Arsenal there is a mental block, and not just for Arsenal as a player, but for manager as well, because whenever we have had these key moments where it's a must win, when we have been basically inches away from winning it, we always fold. We did that in Arteta's third season when we balled top 4. We should have been 4th, but we basically finished 5th. We balled the league when we were 8 points clear. We balled the league last year before. Last year, I cannot say as much, but we kind of also I think we got burnt out against PSG mentally, I think, because we haven't been in those spots too much. And if you have not been in certain situations, you don't know how to react. You don't know what to do. Because Arteta's record in semi-finals alone in cup competitions since winning the FA Cup is nothing more than abysmal. We have played 8 games, we have 2 draws and 6 losses. No wins and only 2 or 3 goals scored, which overall just shows that this team mentally is not prepared to go in this warfare. Because football is as physical as it can be, it's also a big mental game. And these players, since they haven't won much as a unit, well, pretty much at all, as a unit collectively, as a team, right? Especially when I'm talking about the players who have been here the longest, they don't know what it takes. They don't know how it is. They don't know how it feels to lose a final. They don't know what it takes to win a final. How it feels like after winning the final, how it feels like after lifting the trophy and all this stuff. It definitely, for me, is a mental block, which basically is that pressure situation. And we have seen what Mikel Arteta does under the pressure. He freezes. He has this deer in headlights look. He doesn't know what to do. He just stands there and instantly, and the eyes are just going everywhere. He doesn't know who to talk to, who to sub on, who to take off, what to say to AirPod Albert, what to say to Jover, what to say to his assistants. He instantly disappears. He freezes. He panics. It genuinely goes all over the place. And I think it's for both mentally, for players and the manager. And I think this pressure situation definitely, the mental block is definitely affecting them. 6th and 7th point combined, I'm going to combine them both into one, is, well, the manager. The 6th and 7th point is the manager. People will cuss me for this, but yeah, Arteta needs to improve. He needs to get better. He needs to be open to change mid-game with tactics, with style, with players. He needs to learn to adapt. He needs to have multiple ideas for the game. If one plan doesn't work, have plan B, plan C, plan D. Because so far, he's going into his 7th year in a month. And he's still making the same mistakes he made day one. That is the nuts part. With the in-game management, substitutions, with styles and systems and everything, it definitely is a massive, massive worry. Ultimately, in the short terms, those are my 7 points that, in my opinion, need to change and improve. If Arsenal fix them, Arsenal could win big. And I will name those once again. Maintain the level in terms of playing level, injuries, player management, discipline, fouls, giveaways, cards, and everything. Improve attack. Let the handbrake off. Level up the attack. Liven up the attack and everything. Deal with pressure, because we know that is an issue. And the 6th and 7th are combined. It's the manager. Let me know what you think about them in the chat as well, ultimately.